Sitting out on the porch to record this. Hopefully you guys can see me and I don't look insane. This is a take 2 and I got really raw and fell apart a couple times and it was a bit crazy the last video. So I guess the universe was like, can we just focus on the fact that you feel amazing? A lot of times I see coming out videos and they're devastating about what was said and what the family said to them and how they felt. And that was literally my main reason for not coming out. Like 38 years old, coming out. People like, coming out of what, girl? You should have stayed your ass in there. And I would have. I had every intention of staying right in there. I had made it cushy and cute, and I had a whole TikTok family to talk to about it, and then I was outed. I was outed by a family member, and then videos were sent to my parents, and I'm here at this space. And that's literally the synopsis of it all. So I was outed, and I didn't deny it. Because I couldn't bring myself to deny what I had to work so hard to accept in the first place. I mean, I was so not brought up to be who I am right now. Like, no way, shape, form, or fashion was I brought up to be the person I am right now. When I say brought up, I mean, this is how you think, this is what you believe, this is what you wear, this is how you believe, this is who you should love. Brought up. And it took, for those of you who have seen it, a video that I linked in my TikTok. It took me being in the hospital and not being able to think about other people, not being able to put anybody else first, not being able to do anything but face me, which is the most terrifying thing in the world. Like, it was literally the most terrifying thing in the world to admit that I knew that those relationships that I was in, those friendships that I had, were toxic relationships, because that meant that I was toxic. And yes, toxic is not always anger and abuse. There's self-abuse that is toxic. It's completely a mess. To be a doormat, and I was 100% a doormat, because I had some amazing, complicated, not kind, super kind enablers. And it caused me to be okay with taking care of everybody to the fault and detriment of myself, and never having to focus on myself, because I was surrounded by individuals who wanted to focus on themselves, and I let them focus on themselves because I didn't want to focus on me. And I welcomed them in my life. My former best friend, and I say former best friend because this has happened to me twice, female from high school. She's fucking amazing, like, just charismatic and people love. I mean, just, you meet her, you love her. Gorgeous, God, gorgeous. And I was like, this person likes me as a person? Like, likes me. Not wants anything from me, but likes me? Oh yes, I'll do any and everything to keep you in my life, because I feel seen a little bit with having you as a friend. Noting that she never called me friend or best friend. She called me by my name. She never called me my. Whenever I introduced her to anyone in my circle, which was a church and family circle, was, this is my best friend. And so I had a limited amount of my's in my life. My family, my mom, my dad, my sister and brothers. I sat there and I put myself in situation after situation, fractured, because there was so much stuff that I was not dealing with, because I was taught that you could just pray it away. And that's not what happened. The first time I realized that I had feelings for a same gender person as me, born female gender person, was in 8th grade. 8th grade. I think that's like, what, 12, 13, 14 maybe? Just a long Can't remember exact age. I want to say between 7th and 8th. So 12. My son is 12 years old. He just turned 12, and he's in the 6th, going to the 7th grade. So yeah, between the 7th and the 8th grade. I want to say it was the 8th grade because I remember it being North Carolina, and at the time, North Carolina was one of the places that I stayed when we were younger, before we moved to South Carolina, my sophomore year in high school. But we were always moving. Like, I pretty much went to like a different school every year. It's hot out here, so you start seeing me sweat. I brought my big ass fan out here. Big ass fan on deck, ready, bitches, because I didn't want to not record it. So I'm taking you guys' advice. I'm recording it on my phone. I'm not editing anything, because look at it. I mean, if I do, then I'll think about the fact that I keep looking around, looking at the sky. I came out here and I recorded by the lake initially because I did not want to panic, because I'm not scared, but it's new. It's like, so I don't know. It's new for me to be this open. Like, I have my other pages that I had in existence, and I wanted to share them with you guys, but I was like, no, can't do that. Can't do that. Can't tell people about who follow me on other pages that I have a whole nother part of me that they haven't seen. I can't do that, because then they'll find me. And then these people are on the Run Tell That program. And so I submerged my favorite place, my favorite safe place in the world, which was TikTok. TikTok saved me. Saved me from waddling. YouTube saved my life, and I'll explain that in my next video. This video is about coming out. So I met Jocelyn. I knew immediately that I liked her more than what was normal or okay. And so I didn't know if she was on the same page as me. I didn't know if she was or not, but her flirting. And then she let me hold her hand. We were walking and talking. And this is when it was completely unaccepted to be anything but straight. I mean, there was no representation, damn sure not no black representation of anyone who wasn't just straight and Christian and holiness, Shatabo and the Ikalala Christian people. And the people who always claim they're not judging you, but they're fruit inspectors. We're not going to even talk about that space right now. That's a whole video, because church hurt video I'm going to do, which will be my third video, by the way. This is my coming out video. My next video will be becoming Nick Nicholson. My next video will be ain't no hurt like church hurt. Okay? It's my story, and I'm not in any space anymore where I have to hide any part of myself. So while it was terrifying as shit to come out, terrifying as shit, when I say so scary that I submerged this part of myself and had every intention of completing this process of literally not saying a goddamn thing about who I wholly am, to keep other people's feelings protected, and those being my family. I didn't think it took me long enough it took me so long to accept it, to not have the internalized homophobia that I had, because I at no point thought that me being who I am as a person was right. Like, it can't possibly be right. Look how upset my family is. It's gotta be wrong. But it doesn't feel wrong. What feels wrong is hiding the possibility of falling in love with a person who shaped like me, or better, that looks different from me. Knowing that I felt equally about energies I met, packaging meant little. Jocelyn and I were playing in the hallway, and it was fun, and she was smiling, and I literally couldn't breathe because I made her smile, and her smile was like fucking staring directly into the sun. Amazing. And so I just looked at her, and I was playing, and she jumped on my back, and I gave her a piggyback ride. Now, mind you, I've always been a large person. I'm almost 6 feet tall. I'm 5'11" and a half. Do not forget the half, okay? And I'm plus size. Now, 8th grade, I've never been skinny. Like, I could literally just, I think the last time I could consider myself a single digit was when I was in the single digits. Okay? So, having to be in a space where I knew that it wouldn't be accepted if I said anything about this. I'm also swatting these huge flying creatures above my head, which I'm saying huge flying creatures because they very much look like wasps. And I can't accept that if I'm by a wasp because my mental is just like freaking out about that. So right now we're going to call them flies. Is this true? Probably fucking not. But if I acknowledge them, I have to stop recording. Okay. I had to say that to talk out the anxiety about being around. I've never been stung, okay? Never been stung, and it freaks me out of the possibility of being stung. So, woosah. Okay, it's Jocelyn. So we're playing around, and I knew I couldn't jump on her back. So when she's like, come on, I was like, girl, bye. Fucking squash you. But I pulled her close, and I kissed her on the back of her neck. And her response is she blushed, but at the same time, one of the girls who used to bully me saw it. And then she told the teacher, and the teacher came out because she was like right there at the door. It's like in the door, halfway in the door. And this teacher is vital because she's in the next story too. Her name was Miss Smith. And she goes, what's going on? She kissed that girl in the back of the neck. And then Jocelyn looked at me with such fear in her eyes. She was so freaking scared. And I was always a protector. I always have been. It's been a very strong side of me. I couldn't imagine anybody that I love or care deeply for hurting. So immediately I knew I had to take the blame. I was like, I was just playing. She had nothing to do with it. I was just playing. It was an accident. I didn't really mean to do it. And she looked at me with relief in her eyes. And then she did what she had to do to save herself. I'm just going to leave it at that because I don't think she meant to hurt me. I think that she was just scared. And so it was rough. So the teacher pulls me to the side and she's fussing, talking about how she's going to tell my dad. And I was like, look, lady, it was an accident. I literally started crying. And I was more terrified that my parents would find out that I kissed a girl than the bullying that I knew was coming down the pipe for the rest of the goddamn year. It got so intense that these broads literally follow me into the bathroom. Now tell me this is not weird and the most weird way to express your quote unquote fear of someone different than you. These bitches, and I can call them bitches because they're my age now. And if I could see them to the face, and I would call them bitches to their face. They literally followed me in the bathroom, climbed up on the sides of the fucking toilet, and was swacking at the doors. What you doing in there? Playing with yourself about a girl and whatever, whatnot. It got crazy. But unfortunately for them, I hated myself. So it didn't affect me the way they thought it was going to affect me. They didn't break me. They didn't make me do anything. I was like, okay, bitches, you don't like me? Well, bitch, join the goddamn club. I don't like me either. And that had a lot to do with what you'll learn about me in the next video. But I suppressed that part of myself. The teacher said she wouldn't tell. And she did write me up, but she wrote me up for playing in the hallway. Not what it could have been if she would have reported me. I know I would have ended up in somebody's goddamn camp, some goddamn where, or I would have been drowned in fucking extra virgin olive oil, stained Jesus 1,000 times plus 20 until I got cotton mouth to rinse away and pray away the gay. So I didn't tell anybody, and I sat out in pursuance to not ever even acknowledge it in myself until college. In college, I met a girl. Her name was Shannon. She would be considered a stud. Shannon was fucking cool as shit, okay? And she had a roommate named Bruce. So Shannon and Bruce were interesting. And I was attracted to Shannon, and I was attracted to Bruce. Shannon was caramel complected. Well, she was probably like a shade. She was more like brown sugar. She had a low haircut. She was what we would consider in this right now plus size. I mean, hell, at the time, my breasts were so freaking huge. I was like a 45 triple, like FH, huge breast. She had big breasts. But she dressed, you know, she put her bandages on. She dressed masculine. Well, we consider masculine. I mean, fuck, clothes really don't have a gender, so whatever. But then we would consider and still consider this particular style of dress as masculine. And I was attracted to her. And then Bruce was like 6'5", 6'6", caramel complected. He was literally probably a shade lighter. So he was more like a chai latte color from Starbucks with locks that hit past his shoulders. And he was fucking gorgeous. And I was talking to Shannon, and I had never been with a girl, outwardly been with a girl, knew that it was something that I wanted to do. I mean, outside of experimenting and shit, like curiosity kid shit. I'm talking about actually never been with a girl, openly, willingly walking into a situation, had never been with a girl until Shannon. And then she was like, a touch me not. And I didn't understand what the fuck that meant until I met her. And she was telling me, I had roommates who were lesbians, and they told me a lot about the lingo and what shit meant and how it was, you know, whatever. Education, okay? Fucking education. Now I know it was just something I needed to know about my goddamn self. But anyways, Shannon knew that I had a lot of internalized homophobia right away. She knew it right away. I was terrified. I spent time with her. We were intimate. The same exact night, judge me not. I don't care if you do, actually. That's why I'm telling you, because if I did, I wouldn't tell you. The same exact night that we were intimate for the first time, and she wouldn't let me touch her, and I didn't do nothing to her, but she did everything to me, and it was great, and I wanted to reciprocate, and she wouldn't have it. And I felt rejected and scared at the same time because I had never been with a girl, and then I didn't know how to receive positivity, because it was positivity. I didn't know how to receive that type of wanted affection and then not be able to reciprocate it. I had never been in a situation where it was not like almost mandatory to reciprocate whatever was done to you. Like I was at that point, I was dating a person. We'll change the name to protect the not so innocent. And everything was like automatic reciprocation. And it was like kind of how he was training me to respond to what he did. So Shannon wouldn't let me touch her. And I was like, Bride, I don't know how to function with this. Like, I want to see you be lifted. I want to see you experience the same type of everything. And so I was feeling rejected, and I sat out, and I left out of her room, and I was sitting in the front. And I didn't want anyone to touch me, but I wanted to. And I know it's gonna sound fucked up, because it is fucked up. But I didn't want to accept that I was gay, or that I had the capability. I knew I wasn't only attracted to women, and I had no idea what this shit was called back when I was in my early 20s. I didn't even know that there was a possibility of being attracted to multiple people. Like, that was not a thing I learned, okay? That was not something I saw. I was not something I was around. It was bad. We couldn't even watch BET, okay? We would get beat for watching The Devil. So when I tell you I didn't fucking know. And being submerged and surrounded and nothing like that, and to not turn out, is who the fuck I've always been. But to recognize it and have to hide it just so you can survive and then go through so much other fucking trauma, which you'll hear about in the next video, that it just didn't make sense. And so I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, like, what the fuck? I'm broken. There's something wrong. I'm attracted to men. I'm attracted to men. And at first, I just couldn't follow it. So I'm out here taking shot after shot, freaking out. Didn't realize that was called a panic attack at the time. There was no diagnosis, okay? Guys, there was no such thing as a therapist. You didn't go to a therapist. You're not crazy. Just pray about it. Put some oil on it. Pray about it. Get your mind off it. Like, that's literally the environment I was brought up in. So it is what it is. It's just Done. So I'm sitting here freaking the absolute fuck out not because I didn't accept what me and Shannon just did, but the thought that I was broken in some way, and that now that I've been with a woman this way, that I wouldn't be attracted to men. And then here comes a guy who is literally one of my aesthetics: tall, thin. He was cut, not bulky built. He was 6'6", beautiful, full, gorgeous lips. Oh my God, the most rich, like dark chocolate eyes ever. Just amazing. Okay, I mean, his eyes had so many nuances of brown that it literally looked like it was glowing in the dark. That shit was amazing. He was gorgeous. And I was sitting there taking these shots, and he's like, "What's wrong? You're shaking." And I was like, "I just did something with a girl. I've never done anything with a girl, and I think I'm broken." And he was like, "No, come in, just come chill with me in the room." Okay, set him up. Pow. So we're in the room. I'm feeling a whole entire mess. And I was like, no, I can't be attracted to women. I cannot. This is not accepted. I cannot be attracted to women. This is not a thing. I have got to stop right the fuck now. This is not a thing. And I'm going to prove it to myself. So this is the fucked up part. I was intimate with Bruce. I didn't let him do anything to me, but I did something to him. Because don't judge me. I was like, in my mental, she did something to me and I did something to him. So that kind of canceled out what she did to me. Same activity, different people. And then I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, and he's talking about this. He said, "This has happened before." And I said, "Wait, pause," because she's smart. And she was like, "Pause." I said, "So this is a game you guys run? She set him up, you take him down?" I said, "What, was this supposed to go farther? We were supposed to actually have sex? You thought we was going to have sex?" And he was like, no, it's not like that. So the next morning, they both get up and they cook me breakfast. They get up and they cook me breakfast. And one is literally like pie eye, moon eye, staring at me. And the other one is quizzing me on what I'm planning to do now that I'm at the time was actually in school in Florida. I was going to become a sheriff. Don't come for me. I was going to become a state trooper. I always knew I wanted to help people. I just didn't know how I was going to help. And I wanted to help. And they were asking me what I was going to do with that. And I was telling them what I had goals and all the aspirations of building this foundation that was going to do all these things. And they were like, "Oh, that's amazing." And the other one is like cutting up strawberries and giving me orange juice and making sure I'm comfortable. And then the other one is challenging my mind, while one is comforting my body. And the world was perfect. The world was perfect. I didn't want to leave. I literally started panicking when I knew I had to go back to fucking school because it was time for me to go back to class. And I was like, they were both out of college, even though it was a college town. Guys, I knew then that I had not only the capability to be intimate with both part people, but I could fall in love with two people and it feel every bit right and be able to take care of them. So I'm not only pansexual, I'm polyamorous. I've said this multiple times on TikTok, and there's so many people who have so many questions about the lifestyle and what it means. You act like most people are in some form of polyamorous relationships. They just don't know it because one party's being unfaithful. In polyamory, that is not a thing. You have to face your shit. You have to grow the fuck up, and you have to be able to talk. And I've lived in and worked in me and my husband were on two different models, because although I'm polyamorous, I was practicing a monogamy model while he had a girlfriend and a toy. And I'll explain girlfriend and toy later. But he had a girlfriend and a toy, and he had a couple one-offs in our relationship. None of this was a deciding factor because I'm polyamorous, and I knew at any time I could do the same, but I chose to focus on him while I was building school because it was just too much. And I didn't feel like I wanted to split more of our time. So I didn't talk about it to anyone, didn't tell anyone. And it's like, I didn't have anyone to talk to about this. And so when I got outed, I thought it was the worst thing in the world. I sat there and I didn't drop my head. I did not drop my head. I did not drop my goddamn head because I wasn't ashamed of who I am. It took me so long, man. When you guys have gone to see the picture of me standing and walking for the first time in like 6 months, like I didn't feel my lower half of my body for like 4 months. The doctor were convinced. They were convinced that I wasn't going to walk again, or I was going to be between a walker and a wheelchair for the rest of my life. So that video is very personal, yes, but I wanted to show people that you can do what people say you can't do. Because technically, I'm like fucking the Tin Man's daughter right now. And I shouldn't even fucking be here, according to so many fucking people. Hell, according to myself, I tried to take me out of here. But apparently I was supposed to be who the fuck I was, becoming to myself, accept my fucking self, so that I can literally change the vibration in the world. Because someone who recognizes their power and then steps into their power, the power being who you are, who we are, you literally change the genetic makeup of the universe, because there's another person who's in full acceptance of everything that could possibly be in the universe. My plan is to put my 2 weeks notice in at the end of this week and then go back to Georgia. I'm going to stay with my best friend's mom for a little while, like 2 weeks or so, just long enough for me to like establish where I'm going to be for 3 months. And the reason why I'm saying 3 months there is because I think that'll be about how long it'll take me to get up. You guys are going to help me. I already know this because you guys are fucking amazing and you've already shown me that you will. 200 plus people before there was even a video to watch. I have some of the most amazing people in this world connected to me, and I'm so honored. I'm so honored, man. I'm so honored to be living finally fucking free. I was talking to my best friend on the phone, and I was telling him, like, this is the first time in my life that I'm not scared. And I had to pause because I realized it was the truth. It was the first time in my life that I wasn't scared that someone would recognize something different in me and hate it. I mean, I deal with the normal shit that's, will be phased out when it's time to phase out. There's such a big fight against it now, so I don't have to acknowledge it. I'm aware of it, and I completely do not tolerate willful ignorance, but we're not going to go there because this is not what this channel is going to be about. This channel is about finding your motivation, finding yourself, growing through your journey, and ultimately becoming a unicorn. Finding who you are, accepting who you are, loving who you are, and attracting the things that you deserve in this world. I realized for the first time in my life, I'm not scared. I'm not scared that somebody's going to find out and tell my parents, and then they tell my parents, and then my parents will be disappointed, and they'll be sad, and they'll be mad, and they'll possibly disown me because I'm so far fucking removed from what they reared me to be, that how can they accept something that they don't understand? How can they accept me? And then I was like to myself, I was like, I didn't want it to get out that not on the top of the fact that I am not straight, but I'm not straight, and I don't practice a traditional model. I know how to operate in a traditional model. I did. It wasn't a problem for me to operate in that because I had so much going on. I was in school, I was in night classes and certification classes. I didn't have it in me to be otherwise focused, because I'm the type of person who wants to give to my partner, be a part of their life, help them succeed. And so I would have got inundated in my partner's life and I wouldn't have been living. So taking responsibility for myself now, taking responsibility and giving myself freedom for the first time in 10 years, my thoughts are not centered around what they and the days that I had in my life on different levels for different things, what they would think. The last people on the planet who I wanted to find out that I wasn't straight, that I was pansexual, were my parents. But because they know, I feel like I could literally fucking just soar from sitting right here on the front porch, soar. I could take off and fly because I'm not scared of anything anymore. I'm not scared. I've been dealing with all the rest of the shit I've been dealing with in life all of my life. This was part of me that I literally submerged for 37 years, 38 years. And then I came out to myself on TikTok the beginning of the year. I'm in a lime green shirt and I'm singing, I'm coming out. Ooh, I'm dancing. Get it up. Oh, for myself. Not thinking in any way that I would probably, like on my other social media sites, like on my Facebook or whatever, maybe 2,000 people. And then those are not really active 2,000 people. So when I passed 5,000 on TikTok, I was boohoo crying because I couldn't imagine rapidly after that 10, 20, 30. Right now, I'm sitting at like 50,000 amazing human beings who are connected to me for something or another, whether it be my bird, whether it be my love for the planet, and the fact that I'm trying to create an app that I'm not trying. I am creating an app. I'm working to save the money to go to the boot camp. You guys have helped me raise a good little bit. We have a couple more hundred to go. Guys, I'm just now in a place where I realize I'm not scared. And I can celebrate Pride for the first time. Although there's not going to be like in the streets type Pride right now. Maybe next year. But I can buy a pan flag and I can put it on. And I can be representation of being more than one thing and more than one side of myself. I'm sitting on a porch and I recorded this video earlier because I was, told that they would be away. I'm at their house and I don't want them to feel disrespected by me recording my coming out video. And that's why I recorded it at the lake. But as you both know, well, we all know, guys, that it didn't fucking load. So I'm recording it again from the porch because it's too hot to walk back over there. I love you guys. And if you come with me on this journey, you'll have fun. You'll learn. You'll meet yourself and you'll gift us with you. And I can't wait to meet you. Responsibility for self is the same thing as earning and getting freedom for yourself. Everything that you've gone through to jar your memory, to remind you of who you are and how you're connected to God, how you're connected to the universe, who you're going to be in this world. All those things, finding your motives is one of my big pushes. Healthy sexual awareness. That's another one of my big pushes. So I found it kind of funny that I wanted to incorporate that, went to school for it, became a sexologist for it, only to still be hiding my goddamn self. So now I'm not hiding anymore. So let's do this. Let's get an RV. Let's travel across the world, meeting all the people who rock with me. And maybe we'll build our team. People who hop on the RV and say, hey, you know what? I'm coming with you. Let's go. Who are in place to do so? When I say in place to do so, right now, I am untethered outside of my bird. A job is a job. I was always like amazed by the people who would pack up and travel the world with like a book bag and some money and just fucking leave. And I was like, shit, I would love to do that. But then I would put all the what ifs and the days in my life. And I had a lot of what ifs and days in my life at the time. But there are no more days that are actually keeping me from going. My bird can travel and he'll grow and we'll bond. And my goal is to teach him how to free fly and be able to come back to me. So maybe I'll travel to wherever bird tips or bird tricks are and they can teach me how to teach him. I'm not clipping his wings. I bought him with his wings clipped. I want him to be 100% him. I don't want to stunt any part of his life. And I want to give him the best life that I can possibly give him. Her, they, I don't know what it is yet. I hope it's a boy. I do, honestly. If it's a girl, it's cool too, but I hope it's a boy because I want to get a girl bird that'll mesh well with him. But that's not happening like straight away. Like there's a lot on the plate. So I'm rambling now, which means we're done. No ramblings, guys. We're going to travel. We're going to do amazing things. I'm going to meet somebody and they're going to say, let me help you build Helios's bird cage on a hinge that you can put on the door towards the front of the cabbie. And then when I stop the cabbie, I'll be able to move his bird cage on a hinge outside. Like the hinge will somehow, okay, it has to be on a cage that has slits that you can roll rack. When I say roll rack, not making him dizzy, but the base part of it will have to be able to maneuver and slide to the other side. So when I move the cage, I'm sliding, literally almost locking it in and then sliding it around and hooking it on the outside of the carrier with the awning. It has to have an awning. And then he'll be able to free fly where we stop or whatever, or he'll be on his harness that I want to maybe make it go up to like 30 feet. I don't know how those harness things work. I'll figure all this shit out. Los, I want him to do a bit of travel and see the world too. It's totally a wasp. It's totally a wasp. It's totally a wasp. Don't freak out. Don't freak out. Don't freak out. Sorry, guys. This is going to have to end. I'm not getting stung for this. I'm not getting stung for this. I'm going inside. I'm so fucking scared right now. I just want him to go back up. He's like right out of the camera shot, like right there. I'm like, please don't come this way. Please don't come this way. 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 Oh God. Okay, yeah, this is done. This is done. I'm out. I'm 38. I'm out. We're about to travel and live our best life. I'm not getting stung. I love you guys. I'm going to go to TikTok. We're now linked. Follow me on TikTok. Follow me and subscribe here. And come on this journey of loving your fucking self. I curse, by the way, a lot. And I think there's bigger problems in the world. So if cursing offends you, I'm sorry. I'm not Christian. So for those of you who think that I am, I'm not. I'm religious of no sort. No religions of any sort. I am what probably would be classified as, oh my fucking God, would be classified as more like a mystic, because there's so many elements of so many religions to me that make sense. And I think we're all a hub anyway. There are 2 wasps now. And I'm scared as shit, but I want to finish the video. All the like warning shit that warn you about. I'm going to tell stories on here. I'll put the 18 plus in the bio for you know what I'm talking about when I was a phone sex actor and phone sex operator, phone actress for the proper terminology, and just different experiences in my life. The ones I remember and the ones I barely remember. I'm sharing them all. Okay? I'm going to tell you great stories every night. Once I can go live and I can just do the live. I don't know if lives are recorded and like added to the docket. I'll figure that all out. But guys, I love you. They have landed so I can breathe a little bit. I love you. And thank you so much for being here for me. I'm about to go inside now because before they start flying again and decide, ooh, let's go sting the brown thing. I'm not doing that, okay? So I love you. Bye.